Welcome back to Visa Pathway UK, your go-to channel for the latest immigration news, visa updates, and real-world advice for migrants living and working in the UK. Today's video is especially important for those of you working in the UK's care sector. As of July 22, 2025, the UK government has officially closed the health and care worker visa route to new care workers applying from overseas. But what happens if you're already in the UK on a care visa? Can you extend your visa? Can you switch? What about settlement or ILR? In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know about staying legally in the UK as a care worker, even after the new rules. Let's get into it. First, what's changed? From July 22, 2025, the UK has closed the door to new international care worker applications. That means if you're overseas and hoping to come to the UK to work in a care home or domiciliary care setting, under SOC code 6135 or 6136, you can no longer apply for sponsorship through that route. Care homes in the UK are no longer allowed to issue new certificates of sponsorship for these roles to applicants outside the country. This is a major policy shift. Over 140,000 care visas were granted over the past few years. And now, that route is ending for new arrivals. But, and this is important, if you're already in the UK on a valid care visa, you're not being forced to leave. There are still legal ways to extend, switch, or stay permanently. So, who can still remain in the UK? If you're already working in the UK as a care worker, and your visa was issued before the July 2025 deadline, you may still extend your visa, switch to another eligible employer, or even apply for ILR, indefinite leave to remain, if you meet the requirements. But to qualify for any of these options, you must prove that you've been employed by your current sponsor for at least 3 continuous months. This 3-month rule is critical. If you haven't yet completed 3 full months with your sponsor, you may not be eligible to extend or switch yet, so always check your start date and get official confirmation from your employer. Next, let's talk about visa extensions. The Home Office has made it clear, care workers already in the UK can continue to extend their visas until July 22, 2028, but only under certain conditions. You must continue working in an eligible care role and remain sponsored by a licensed sponsor. The sponsor must be approved by the Home Office and actively holding a sponsor license in the health and care sector. So if your current employer is planning to stop sponsorship or is losing their license, you need to act fast. You can still switch to a new care employer within the UK if they're licensed. It's strongly recommended to begin your visa renewal or extension process at least 3 months before your visa expiry. This gives enough time to gather documents, receive a certificate of sponsorship, and avoid overstaying your current leave. Make sure you keep detailed records of payslips, employer letters, COS numbers, proof of continuous employment. What about switching visa routes? If you no longer want to remain in a care role or if you're worried about sponsorship stability, you may be able to switch into another visa category from within the UK. Here are a few possibilities. Skilled worker visa, but only if your new job meets the updated RQF Level 6 requirement and the increased salary thresholds. Student visa, if you're planning to study a recognized course at a licensed institution. Spouse or family visa, if you're married to or in a civil partnership with a British citizen or settled person. Graduate visa, if you studied in the UK and meet the eligibility. However, switching may reset your ILR clock. That means your previous years on a care visa might no longer count toward the 5-year requirement for settlement. So always seek legal advice before switching routes, especially if you're close to qualifying for ILR. Let's talk about ILR, indefinite leave to remain. If you've been living and working in the UK continuously for 5 years on a care visa, you may be eligible for settlement. You must meet the standard ILR requirements, including continuous lawful residence, no serious absences from the UK, no breaches of visa conditions, English language, and life in the UK tests. Now here's where it gets tricky. The government has proposed extending the ILR qualifying period to 10 years in future. This is part of their 2025 Immigration White Paper. But as of now, the 5-year rule is still in place for those already on qualifying routes like health and care. So if you're close to hitting 5 years, it's wise to begin preparing your ILR application early, in case future rule changes apply to you. So, what should you be doing right now as a care worker in the UK? Here's your action checklist. Speak to your sponsor or HR department and confirm their plans to continue sponsoring staff. Check your visa expiry date and plan for extension at least 3 months in advance. Make sure you've completed at least 3 months with your current sponsor before switching. Keep all records of employment, visa letters, and payslips. Consider long-term plans. Whether you want to extend, switch, or apply for ILR, seek professional immigration advice if your situation is complex or uncertain. Finally, yes, the care worker route has closed to new overseas applicants. But for thousands of migrant carers already in the UK, this is not the end. If you take the right steps, keep your records up to date, and act early, you can still extend your stay, switch roles, or even apply for permanent settlement. We'll keep covering this topic as new updates come out, including how the proposed 10-year ILR rule might impact care workers and other migrants. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with others in the care sector. Drop your questions in the comments below and we'll respond or cover them in a future video. And don't forget to subscribe to Visa Pathway UK. We bring you every rule, every change as it happens. Disclaimer: this video is for general information only. Immigration laws change frequently. Please seek professional legal advice for your specific situation.